Hello and welcome to Mr. Walton's Physics Lessons. In this lesson we'll be learning about resultant forces. This is from the forces topic of GCSE Combined Science and GCSE Physics. By the end of the lesson, you should be able to state what is meant by the term resultant forces and calculate the resultant of two forces acting along the same line. From a previous lesson you should know that forces are vector quantities, which means that they have magnitude and direction. Forces can be represented by arrows in diagrams, with the size of the arrow showing the magnitude and the direction. If you need to review scalar and vector diagrams, take a look at the video linked in the details below. When two or more forces act on an object, like the forces on this motor scooter, these forces can be replaced by a single force that has the same overall effect as all the original forces acting together. This single force is called the resultant force. If the forces all act along the same line, the resultant force is found by adding those forces acting in the same direction, and subtracting any acting in the opposite direction. Here, little Joe is riding his bike and pushing with a force of 25 newtons. His sister Jane pushes him with a force of 80 newtons in the same direction, so the forces are added together to give a resultant force of 105 newtons to the right. In this example, Emma is applying a forward force of 120 newtons to her bike and the air resistance provides a force of 50 newtons in the opposite direction. In this case the forces need to be subtracted to give a resultant force of 70 newtons to the right. John's motorbike provides a forward force from the engine of 90 newtons, but the air resistance provides a force of 120 newtons and the friction on the road provides an additional 80 newtons, both in the opposite direction. In this case, the 90 newtons forward minus the total of 200 newtons in the opposite direction gives a resultant force of minus 110 newtons. This means the resultant force is acting in the opposite direction to the motion of the motorbike. Here are some examples for you to try. Pause the video to give yourself a chance to think about the answers and restart it when you're ready. Okay, now it's time to check your answers. You should award yourself 1 mark for each correct magnitude and 1 mark for each correct direction. If you got all 8 marks, well done. You've obviously got a good understanding of this part of the topic. You should now be able to state what is meant by a resultant force and calculate the resultant of two or more forces acting in a straight line. If you found this lesson useful, please give it a like and consider subscribing to see future lessons. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.